And good afternoon, Rando fans. We are back here with another great match in the Fall 2019 Challenge Cup tournament for a Link to the Past randomizer. Up in the match today are Hesjustaboy versus Dragonstrike1988. This is game one of their match, so we have the game one settings. I am Cool Papa Bell 2282 here to commentate for you today, and alongside me is Magius. How you doing today?
I'm holding up. You know me on that one. You know me. There should be a good one, I've got to say, at the very least.
Yeah, absolutely. Dragonstrike has sort of been tearing through the top half of the bracket. Is actually the number one seed going into the bracket. So not too surprising to see that. But Hesjustaboy has also been on a hot streak so far. I think only the 56 seed going into brackets, but has clearly been playing very well in the tournament.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. I've got to say, you know, when you're on a hot streak, you do the best you can on that one.
Yeah, just got to ride it as long as it'll last. So it looks like our runner in good time real quick to say thank you to our restreamer MathGirl718 and our tracker for today, iBot.
So before this gets started, where do you think they're going to start first? Sanctuary or Link's house? And what do you think will be in Link's house's chest?
I'm going to call split. I want to see one in Sank, one in Link's house, and 20 rupees in Link's house.
I'm going to be nice and say they're getting a free set of, 3 bombs.
You're one of those people who wants to be nice to the runners, huh? That's no fun.
Oh no, it's because I've seen them literally have too many horrible seeds and have called too many horrible seeds and tracked too many horrible seeds. Gotta be nice every now and then.
So just the map in the Sanctuary and Quake in Link's house. So the map is not a great find. Of course, it's not very helpful, and you would much rather leave it in Dark Cross or something, so that means the runners know they're pretty much going to have to clear out all of Escape at some point.
I gotta say, I like the Shadow Sprite from FF6.
Yeah, I would think that ninjas would be outlawed from Link to the Past randomizer tournaments. I feel like they would have an unfair advantage, but what do I know?
Either way. So that's how many FF6 sprites we had? I stopped counting when they got over the 200 mark as far as the sprites go for Link.
Yeah, it's almost like people really like Final Fantasy or something.
Ooh, bush crab giving bombs. And I saw a crystal at Easter at the very least.
Yeah, I think red crystal on Tower of Hera, and then green pendant is in Desert, and I believe that was just a heart piece there on Lumberjack.
That was. It's a pretty easy way to check to see if there's a little bit of a point, and you can probably figure it out. So Aga's only going to be needed if they need access to the Dark World.
Yep, and Dragonstrike taking the sort of more traditional route of not checking Lumberjack until you have the boots, since that item is inaccessible until then anyway, so we'll get to Kakariko just a little bit ahead.
I know I'm old school in the wanting to check just to know, because it gives you access to a bush crab, gives you access to an actual, actual tree pull, and goes from there. I think at least one of the tree pulls was just green rupees, which is a bit vanilla. Ooh, and a sword. And money.
So some good utility there coming out of Blind's hut.
More bombs. Looks like our runners will have access to Quake real fast today.
Yeah, definitely a comfortable start. Runners will have no problem getting the bottle merchant item. They've got a sword to clear out mini Moldorm Cave, so the opening's going decently well, but no real progression yet.
Still nothing major, and ooh, Ice Rod. Oh god, it's the Ice Rod.
So Dragonstrike wins the Ice Rod hunt. Unfortunately, that is not a victory condition in this particular race, so...
Well, it depends on if Cold Stare is... Or not Cold Stare. Trinax is needed.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't hurt to have it this early on, but most runners will say that early Ice Rod guarantees that you're going to have Pendant Turtle Rock and won't actually need to ever use the thing, but we'll see once the runners get into the Dark World. I think Ice Rod is actually a little bit underrated in utility, especially early on. You can use it in quick boss kills, so like Landmolus or Phase 2 of Argus, in the same way that you would use the Fire Rod. So it is handy to have.
Yet sadly, it doesn't do as much as you would like on a lot of different enemies, and only arrows in the library. And let's see, for the race game, we've got just another piece of heart. And Dragon picking up Litterquake. So it looks like we'll have a South Shore play by Dragon. What do you think's going to be in the flooded item spot?
Yeah, we're going to have to find something else soon. Maybe a glove. A glove would be nice to get us to the back of Escape. Gotta love an early bow, too. That might happen.
Well, there's the lamp. Dark Cross is available. And technically back of Escape as well if they want to go steal the key from the front. Favorite plan of mine. Namely, that's basically if, you know, there's actually anything important, you're going to find the other key sooner versus later. Whereas if there's not, you really didn't need to go and check.
Yeah, lamp is not that important for actually getting through the game, probably for these runners, but it can be really important for directing you logically and where the seed wants you to go. Ooh, Moon Pearl in the secret passage.
So let's see what the uncle's got for us today. And today's uncle item is $20. I guess Link robbed the corpse.
Ooh, and a glove, too, in Mini Moldorm Cave. So, 2/3 of the way to a regular Dark World access. Unfortunately for the runners, we are also 2/3 of the way to Aghanim access with that sword and lamp. So, we'll see which one we get first.
Very, very true. Although, here's the question. Would you want to actually do Aghanim if you think it's going to be needed? And how many item checks before you decide that you should go check Aghanim?
Yeah, that's a difficult call of how much you do. Most runners will try and exhaust pretty much everything before they go to do Aghanim, except maybe one or two really out-of-the-way checks. Just because it's such a time sink.
Sorry to interrupt you. Hesjustaboy just found half magic. So I did not notice what was in Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, nothing exciting in Ice Rod. I didn't see either, but definitely makes that Ice Rod a little bit more useful as a weapon with the half magic.
Looks like Dragonstrike is taking your advice and checking the back of Escape. Also, they do have Death Mountain access by logic right now.
Ether in the back of Escape, and then also get to Dark Cross immediately, which Dragonstrike is going to go ahead and do.
Nothing important in the front half except for half magic. Ether in the back half of Escape so far. And since they have the key, there will be an item with Dark Cross.
Very clean Death Warp there from He's Just a Boy, getting down to just one heart before defeating the big key guard, and he's going to go ahead and sequence break the back of Dark Cross to get those 10 arrows that Dragonstrike just found.
Not much except for Ether and a glove, so I'm guessing Dragonstrike's going to do the same side. Oh no, moving me along. We've got a sauce closet check coming up. What do you think the old guy's hiding today?
Let's see. I think it's time to be mean to the runners again, so we'll say a bizarre fetch quest chain. Mushroom into shovel into mitts.
I'll say he's hiding at least the book. I mean, after all, he's an old guy, he lives all alone, and it's in his closet.
That could definitely work. Looks like He's Just a Boy also heading in that direction, so each of our runners have cleared out about half of Escape. He's Just a Boy has not done South Shore yet, so is down a glove at this point.
2 pieces of art and some money. At least the 50 rupees is vanilla, although it would be in one of the side chests, if I recall.
So both of our runners are going to make this eastern play. Dragonstrike not yet tempted by the Death Mountain climb. There's really only 2 items that you can get up there and 1 more that you can see with the equipment they currently have. And that lamp also could point us toward Eastern Palace.
And with all the items checked so far, Eastern Palace either have progression or it will be in Agina.
Yeah, we're pretty much down to Eastern, those 2 on Death Mountain, or Zora is actually in logic with that glove. Another one of your least favorite early game checks.
Very, very true. Although I do have to say, one of the last, races I called, both runners decided to sequence break Hobo, and it literally saved them a lot of time.
Yeah, that's one of those checks that you might sequence break before you do Aga in this situation. If he has the other glove or the hammer, then that gets you out of having to fight Aga for that Dark World access.
Oh, not just that, you also would probably sequence break Waterfall.
Yeah, with that Moon Pearl, they can just clear out all of the Flippers checks at the same time. Hopefully with $500 also to pay off the fishy scam artist up north.
Big key, so we have 2 more item checks left. Well, there's Blue Mail. Looks like Eastern is, I won't say turning out to be a bust, but looking more and more like Death Mountain is the play. Well, or Zora.
Yeah, definitely several mediocre options are going to be left for our runners after this, depending on what we get in this last check. Question in chat also about how Sahasrara lives like that with a completely empty building. I feel the same way about Star Wars. Every time you see a living quarters in Star Wars, there's like no furniture anywhere. Like, where do these people sit? I'm so confused.
Nope. Looks like it's going to be Zora or Death Mountain.
I think Death Mountain is probably the standard play here, because worst case scenario is you've got the save and quit point up for the old man, which you're probably going to have to make this climb at some point anyway, so you're not really wasting too much time by doing it. Dragonstrike does still have the back of escape to look at, which he will go ahead and do right now. Or is this... No, he's done back of escape. He's doing a Houlihan.
Yep. Well, basically the Hall of Champions, you could say, since they added in a lot of names into that. Although since Dragonstrike hasn't checked the front half of Escape, they're probably on their way to do that right now.
And he's Hesjustaboy doing South Shore, not surprisingly, since those are pretty good locations left for both of our runners to do, and that will even up their items just a little bit.
So now that you've checked every spot, but Agina, Zora, and Death Mountain, you know, your suggestion is what, the old guy?
Yeah, we got the old man and the Spectacle Rock Cave that we can get.
So here's a question. What do you think the progression is going to be?
I'm gonna bet on... You know what? Let's go Cape. Let's get Esoteric.
I was going to say Master Sword, but Cape works just fine. Considering they can't use the Ice Rod in the tower, it doesn't work on the guards.
As long as we're both torturing the runners, that's the important thing.
Very, very true. Watch hookshot be given to check all of the stuff on Death Mountain.
Yeah, it's pretty convenient when you go to a spot and you think, well, I got one check here, and then that check opens up like 9 other ones.
Very, very true. Hesjustaboy's gotta be careful, down to half a heart. Or is that a quarter? I can't tell.
Either way, he's got less health left than these crabs do in one hit, even with Blue Mail, so definitely gonna have to be careful on the way up to Ice Rod Cave.
Yep, very true.
Big 20 drop from those crabs, though. That's convenient.
And probably going to opt to maybe pick up the 20 rupees in the cheapskate, cave there.
Yeah, being able to just farm that twice and have Zora money is probably what he's going to opt for.
Very true. Up. Very, very, very smart play. And he's got us Zora money.
And it looks like he is going to go ahead and do these fake flipper checks right now.
And looks like Dragonstrike is finally checking the Lumberjack.
So yeah, definitely interesting divergence from our runners here. It's likely that one of these two locations is going to have progression for us, unless it's in Agina's cave. So one of our runners will get a small advantage by finding that next progression first, whatever it turns out to be.
Hesjustaboy is sequence breaking to Hobo. Let's see if Hobo's got the goods today.
Gets that tricky little fake flipper on the way out of Hobo as Dragonstrike delivers the old man to get all the Titan's mitts. There's our Dark World access. So Dragonstrike definitely guessing right there and will be able to be the first of our runners into the Dark World, almost certainly. Single arrow in the Spectacle Rock Cave, and then Bombos on top of Spectacle Rock, so we at least know where all three of our medallions are at this point.
Oh my god!
He's just a boy rewarded with the flute for that sequence break.
Makes you wonder where the flippers are going to be.
Yet another heart piece showing up there on Zora Ledge. And both of our runners are going to feel like they guessed right on which particular path to follow next, as both of them finding really important items early on in the seed.
And the scam artist today has... What a ripoff. And if you were to ask me who's ahead, I'd have to give it to Hesjustaboy. Right now, having the flute and being able to check Death Mountain real quick, pick up his Titan's mitts.
Yeah, it's definitely a close race at this point, because both runners have an advantage that their opponent will not. So it'll sort of just be a matter of how well they can parlay that advantage into a bigger advantage later on.
For now, I can see Hesjustaboy going and checking out Death Mountain as soon as he activates that flute.
Yeah, he could also get a big advantage if there's something important in Agina's cave, because Dragonstrike is not likely to make the walk down there very soon, but it's much easier for Hesjustaboy to check with that flute. So, as always, it depends on where the items are.
And Dragonstrike picking up the shuffle.
I did not see what else we found in Skull Woods, but I'm guessing he found another trash item in there. Oh, heart container. Thank you for our tracker. Keeping me honest there. Just $5 on Bumper Ledge, and Hesjustaboy now does have access to that fast travel with the flute, and will immediately fly somewhere. Probably Death Mountain would be my guess.
Yep. And we've got the old memes for the flute, but oh well. It is what it is. Oh, mirror.
That's definitely very nice for routing for Dragonstrike. Can clear out all of South Dark World, including that shovel check, now that he's grabbed that out of Skull Woods. And we see the other two pendants in the west part of the world at Thieves Town and Misery Mire are our last two pendant dungeons today.
I guess we can start getting guesses in chat as to what could possibly be on the pedestal?
Let's see, now that we know where the pendants are. Could be Fire Rod. There were jokes. Oh, flippers there in Thieves Town, too. There were jokes in chat about as soon as we found the Ice Rod that it was going to turn into a Fire Rod hunt instead, so that's definitely possible with our crystal layout.
Oh god, the hammer could be on the pedestal. As could Hookshot, if I recall. And a bow. Or even a bottle with the last remaining 3 in Ganon's Tower and Sick Kid having something. And Bombos for Meyer.
Well, we do know where that is, and it's accessible now with that mirror. Dragonstrike, not surprisingly, is going to take those flippers out of the front of Thieves Town and then peace out.
Hesjustaboy taking the free refill from the old geezer and then going out of, then fluting out. Gary just being used as a refill today.
And yep, gotta expect that Hesjustaboy is gonna see all of these same items that Dragonstrike has just found. Oh, there's our first bow in the digging game too. His seed being very generous after getting into the Dark World.
Very, very true. Oh god, Boots could also be on the pedestal, I just realized. And book with something important being needed there.
Yeah, let's see. Could need the book for the tablets. We won't need it for Desert Palace access, since worst comes to worst, we can now get in with Mirror from the Meyer area.
Also, Powder and Mushroom could also be on the pedestal with items respectively from the Witch's Hut and for Magic Bat. Yes, I know they could fake Powder, but not if the shrooms are on the pedestal.
Ooh, unlucky there from Hesjustaboy getting floor mastered out of this stupid Gibdo room in Skull Woods.
I gotta say though, I do love what the official player's guide called them. They called them clutches, apparently.
I guess that's a name.
Yeah, I didn't understand that much either. I mean, I get it because it's grabbing you, but yeah, even I agree that's a bad one and a bad pun for them. Oh, there's the book.
That Wall Master was intentional, I believe, from Hesjustaboy, just to get out faster. Question in chat also about the bows. So yeah, we're in V31, where the bows are now progressive items, much like swords or gloves, that they sort of get placed in the exact same way by the logic, and then just whichever one you find first becomes your bow, and whichever one you find second becomes your silver arrows. So logically, there's no distinction between them as long as you can reach at least one to be able to clear Eastern Palace or Palace of Darkness, etc.
This is actually very nice because it used to be that you would find your silver arrows but not have access to the bow yet. Though I think when they originally were, I think one of the older ones, silvers actually replaced the bow normally, but yeah, either way, it does work out better right now. And we have a hype cave check coming up. Is it going to be hype today, you think?
Let me think here. I'm gonna say yes. It just about has to be.
Let's see. Fireball shield, always useful, even though most people don't like shields. Burna, 10 arrows, piece of heart, and Master Sword. Yeah, that's a pretty hype cave.
Yeah, it's not bad.
You'll take the sword upgrade, you'll take the, Cane of Burna, as it's always a nice safety, and you'll take the Fireball Shield even though you don't want to.
So Dragonstrike going to go ahead and finish off the South Dark World more or less with this purple chest delivery, and with that book and Master Sword now, he can actually collect whatever item is on the Bombos tablet. And might want to head into Desert possibly while he's here, but may have some other options he would prefer before that.
Actually, Dragonstrike can't enter Desert just yet.
Well, he's got the book. He's not guaranteed to be able to full clear it, though.
Oh yeah, forgot he does have the book.
Books.
Forgot he has the book. Piece of heart. Well, heart container. Let's see now. We have... I don't think they checked the ledge yet, so... Some bombs? Now, if you were Hesjustaboy, do you finish off thieves?
That's a good question. I mean, with finding 2 items in the front of Thieves Town and one of them being progression, even if it's, progression that you've already sequence broken, I would be real tempted to skip out on the rest of Pendant Thieves Town. Oh, 3 items in the front. Oh, yeah, even more so then.
Let's see. Well, looks like Desert is going to be boots locked.
Yeah, at least items are boots locked, but we do have the big key, so theoretically the Desert is beatable, but it does mean that the game will not assume that you can defeat Landmo until you have boots to get that key, since you could always waste a small key for the back of Desert in the front of Desert and not be able to get to Landmo without the boots. So that at least means the boots are going to be accessible at some point in the near future.
Very, very true. Although I am personally a fan of them allowing for that and allow the boots to be placed in one of the 2 remaining chests and required to steal a key.
Yeah, I guess that could theoretically happen in a beatable only seed, right? But Tournament is playing on 100% inventory, so that will not be possible in this version of the logic.
It looks like Hesjustaboy is trying to farm up some more rupees.
Yeah, he's a few short for the digging game, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that's an easy farm.
Oh, yes, my tracker pointing out Desert is a pendant, so yeah, the seed might not be assuming that we can complete Desert anytime soon.
Well, not just that, but it's also the green pendant. Which actually is irrelevant because that means Desert has 3 items this time. There we go. Hesjustaboy having a tiny bit of problems with the actual archery game, but it's just fine now. And looks like Dragonstrike's going to go check Quakefish.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you sometimes put off some of these flippers checks, even though it's an easy sequence break, because Dragonstrike can route this in with Catfish and then all of the Zora checks up here, which is going to reward him with the flute in this very efficient routing that he's doing right now.
That's very, very true. So let's see what the mystical Japanese demon has today.
A little fast on the trigger there on that mirror from Dragonstrike.
I don't think he got a chance to see it. Here's hoping Catfish actually had something important. Oh, going back now. Just realizing. You have my... Oh. Dragonstrike better be happy they remembered that.
So apparently the way to get Catfish to give you good items is to make him really mad before you pick up the item.
And looks like Dragonstrike's just about to get ripped off themselves.
Yep, gotta finish it off while you're up here, but... so Dragonstrike was probably thinking about being able to route in Pyramid and then dive into Pod even without the hammer if he didn't find anything up here. But with that Fire Rod, might be thinking about an Ice Palace dip as well. Still not ideal with no hammer. So... does go ahead and save and quit from Zora, so we'll see where he heads next.
And he doesn't even have access to the latest glitch, which they're still deciding over on that one because of no access to Cane Samaria.
Yeah, as far as I know, that one is not allowed in rando races at the moment until we get things sorted out, so we'll worry about that one later. Oh, of course, Dragonstrike is going to go activate his flute right away. It's usually a good idea.
That's very, very true. It is. And I guess since he's going to activate his flute, I guess we'll have the remove your hats and all the usual means for the releasing the duck.
So, briefly to explain this glitch, since I think it was discovered like, yesterday or something. There's a
I think it was 2 days ago.
Yeah, something like that. There's a reliable way that you can use Cane of Samaria to clip through to the vanilla big key chest in Ice Palace. In a weird way, you sort of convince the game that you're still standing in the doorway, and then it tries to move you out of the doorway and doesn't care about what's in your way, which then conveniently just moves you through a wall. So good times.
Well, not a wall. Basically, the large beam that's preventing you from getting over there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people debating if we should call that a wall or a rail and how many pixels wide it is. It's a little bit crazy in the Discord right now.
I think it's only 1 pixel wide and it's a rail, but it's a large rail, so... Oh, here's Checkerboard Cave. Just $20. And Link getting tipped for delivering the pizza.
So both of our runners doing that Agina check at about the same time.
Agina just only 10 arrows, if I recall.
And looks like Dragonstrike is going to go ahead and grab that Bombos, which will open up the door to Mizramire at least. Can't get any further than that without Boots or Hookshot, but will also be able to full clear Tower of Hera, which is a red crystal today.
And let's see what Ether has today for us. Glory to the gods, and the gods said, have a piece of heart.
So, some nice sync from our runners, as they've both decided that Mirror should be pointing them up to Death Mountain. Hey, there's our cape. So the cape is going to be pretty useless, even logically. We already had Cane of Samaria for Spike Cave, and Bumper Cave, I believe, was just $5. So.
Ooh, and their first bottle in Hera.
Yeah, that's another fetch quest that we can do. Fortunately, a pretty easy one with Flute.
And here's Trollorm, everybody's favorite worm-like boss.
And there went Trolldorm.
My god, there's so many different nicknames for Trollorm, it's not even funny.
Yeah, but very nicely done from Dragonstrike there. Getting those Master Sword spins in very quickly. That's my second least favorite Trolldorm fight.
Thinking GTs? Trollorm 2?
No, I just hate NMG Fighter Sword Moldorm. It's awful. But I'd much rather do Hammer than Master Sword spins if I could do it.
At least it's not Fighter Sword Helmasaur, which is done in all dungeons. And on 5 hearts, too.
Yikes.
Hey, it's good practice for the randomizer, because you sometimes might have to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like Dragonstrike is headed back towards Skull Woods, is going to take that Fire Rod, finish off Mothula. It's going to be just about as fast now as ever, and can go ahead and check the pedestal with that book to make sure there's nothing exciting there.
So chat, start getting your guesses in there as to whether or not we will have a Ped Seed. I know, I'm in favor of something like the hook shot, or something super, super important.
Yeah, we will definitely find out. I was going to say, this might also just be a little bit of a stalling tactic for Dragonstrike. The other options at this point are a couple of dungeons that we can't fully clear, so might be wanting to just have a little bit of time to think and make that decision of where to head next.
Very, very true.
And again, with half magic already, you normally want to have Tempered Sword for the Mothula fight, but if you can just spam out those Fire Rod shots, it will go pretty quickly.
It's 8 Master Sword swings or Fire Rod shots, 16 Fighter Sword slashes. I forget how many it is for the B hits. And you can't... Oh no, they did fix the spin attack. with Butter Sword on Malfila.
Yeah, one of those things that the devs of the game were just like, well, they would never have Butter Sword for this boss, so it doesn't matter if it's weird, right? Same thing happens with Master Sword swings on Armos.
Oh no, Master Sword swings on Armos just basically deal less damage than the Fighter's Sword. That I think is an intended mechanic.
Yeah, I guess it's because the Fighter Sword swings are the same class of damage as Master Sword slashes, and they didn't want you to use Fighter Sword spins. Something like that. Who knows what the devs were thinking?
So no whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. That's what they're probably thinking. And we have... What was that? Something help you... Wasn't positive.
That was a rupee horde, so I don't know if that counts as a whammy or not. Not for the runners, but maybe for chat.
Yeah, it's more big money. And no whammy for the runner. Whammy for the, chat, most likely. You are right there.
Alright, so Dragonstrike is headed back into the Dark World. I'm trying to think what the options are at this point.
Nice clean Ice Rod kill on the actual Land Mollusk. And only for 20 bucks, but the green rupee, not green rupee, the green pendant, which is very useful.
Yeah, that's definitely a good choice. I mean, it makes as much sense as something like dipping Ice Palace, right? Because you were guaranteed to get 2 more items out of finishing off Desert Palace there. I was just being dumb there for a second. Dragonstrike went back into the portal there because that's their only Dark World access at the moment, with no hound to the pod and pyramid area that he is headed toward right now.
Very, very true. Although pod can't be finished, Eastern can. I think there might be one more item left, but I'm not positive on that one. It's been a little bit. And of course, Ice Palace. They don't have access to Mire. Well, they have access to get in, but no way to get through the first room.
Yeah, I believe we've got just a map left on Armos. So Dragonstrike probably will dip in there just to finish off that crystal while in the area, but out of dungeons to dip when you can't full clear them, pod is probably the best choice based on number of items, and you don't lose that much time since you normally have to run all the way to Helmasaur from the front of the dungeon anyway, even when you can full clear it.
And first things first, checking the hobo. But so yes, most likely pod will be the play, and once he clears out everything from pod that they can get a hold of, we'll probably mirror back and complete Eastern. Decent routing, I might say.
Yeah, and we really have the hammer blocking most of our possible paths forward in this seed at this point. Can't get to East Death Mountain without the hammer or the hook shot, and we are very limited on what we can do in Swamp and Ice by not having that hammer as well. So runners are probably expecting to find either the hammer or something leading to it in Palace of Darkness.
Well, we have the first item check in Swamp, and I have seen the hooks shop, and I have seen the hammer there as well.
Yeah, sometimes the rando has a way of trolling the runners like that, so can't rule it out.
So let's see. Would pod have been open without the bow? By my logic, it probably will be open. So let's see what the mullet dungeon has.
And as usual, the mirror is just going to make navigating this dungeon so much easier. It's not logically required for any part of it, but just makes the path so much nicer.
And save so much time so you don't have to go walking.
Or, you know, death warp 3 times or some nonsense like that.
Very, very true. Let's see, will Dragonstrike get their key back, or are they going to get an item rewarded for this? Ah! Is this even randomized? Is this even randomized? Now, the only major difference between our runners right now is that Hesjustaboy has the green pendant, where Dragonstrike does not.
Yeah, and that moth kill also. So Dragonstrike has definitely built up a little bit of a lead and been able to get just a smidge more done than Hesjustaboy at this point. But again, if that green pendant pays out, that could be huge for Hesjustaboy in this situation.
Very, very true. And so far, it's looking like it might pay out. There's nothing major in pod yet. But we have, let's see, the Dark Maze chest at 2, the big chest at 3, the, I'm trying to remember the other stuff. But yeah, the basement's 2 more. Got like 5 item checks, not counting the boss. I think they've only found the yep. So the map and the rest of the items, you know, are available. So they've got a 1 in 5 chests of getting all 5 items. You know, at worst they only get 4. Beautiful bottom jump, the map. Just 20 rupees off of the green pendant.
So that's definitely unlucky for Hesjustaboy, especially because this is where that key logic in Desert Palace will come into play. Dragonstrike will probably not do that out of logic, i.e. without the boots, even though he could go defeat Landmo and get that green pendant right now. Probably won't do it if he's looking for the hammer or something until we find those boots.
And so far, nothing major. Let's see. Mushroom.
Hey, who doesn't love fetch quests?
Very, very true. 10 arrows. That's at least 4. Another key. So all they got out of here was the mushroom.
Yep, Dragonstrike correctly reading there that Harmless Hellway had the last small key, so no point in actually collecting that one. He's going to flute away from Eastern.
And I guess not opting to complete Eastern, so let's see what the drug deal is today. To use that old meme.
Yeah, no particular reward for just a heart piece.
I'm trying to remember what's left. Oh god, it's ice. It's ice.
It's ice or swamp pretty much at this point.
And they only have 1 item check in swamp. Here's hoping it's swamp.
So I was going to say, yeah, pretty much a toss-up for Dragonstrike about whether you complete Eastern Palace or not at that point. You're going to have to come back for pod, and there are no items left from finishing Eastern right now, so maybe you come back with boots and finish it a little bit faster than you would have right now.
And the only real difference between here and swamp is basically 1 item.
Although there are 3 hammer-locked locations in here, Oh god, I was about to start talking about IP key logic. I don't know if I assume the 3 items could theoretically be in those 3 locations, but that would be pretty rare that you wouldn't find any items in this dip. So if you really love these rooms in Ice Palace, you should enjoy these times with them. If that clip winds up being legal in Rando, you may never see them again.
Because apparently it's supposed to be really, really easy too. Although it requires Mire, before Ice then.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be important for NMG if it winds up being allowed in that particular category.
But not just that, but it also eliminates the most famous trick in the game. Ice Palace Bomb Jump. Although it's still insanely worth knowing if you don't have Game of Samaria for Randomizer.
Yeah, it really is a pretty easy trick to do. It's a couple of one-frame movements, but you can buffer them in various ways to make it not too bad. So, and the only cost of failure is maybe you have to put down another Samaria block, which doesn't really cost you much of anything.
Very, very, very true.
But we're not using that trick today because we don't have Cane of Samaria anyway. 2 checks in, and Dragonstrike has just found a map and a small key. There's the big key.
Just some money. Dragon is checking everything in Ice. Looks like Hesjustaboy is going to finish Eastern.
And Dragonstrike is coming up on his last logical location that we can check here. Just a Bloomerang. So 2 out of the 3 items in Ice, and nothing good.
All that's really left is Swamp, I believe?
I believe so. We've seen both of the tablets. So Dragonstrike is going to have to fly back to Kakariko, walk all the way around to Swamp Palace. Rando is a funny game sometimes. I feel like Hammer in the first chest of Swamp Palace is one of the memeiest item locations. And I've seen it twice in this tournament.
Let's hope it's something really, really, really bad. Oh, wait. We both forgot Thieves!
Alright, that's true. We got 1 item check left in Thieves Town.
Decent armor skill from Hesjustaboy.
Yeah, that's a variant of that Armor's Quick Kill that I had not seen before, where you take out one of them on the left and then throw 2 arrows into the next one. That worked very nicely.
It's a modified version of the Ice Armor strat, if I recall.
Yeah, I normally put 2 arrows into the first one on the left, and then you kind of have to loop your way around, but I might have to try that one out.
There's several ways you can do the quick kill on that one, but Hesjustaboy, checking the mushroom, and we'll have to see where they go from here. Come on, Swamp. Let's go, Swamp. Nope, just opting to do ice as well.
Yeah, with the long walk you have to do to get around the swamp, it's just such a huge time investment for only one chest that it's definitely a big gamble to make that play. So I'm not surprised to see Hesjustaboy head into ice first also.
Very, very true. Now here's a question. Are you rooting for an item on blind, or are you rooting for the item in the big chest?
Let's see. Our tracker's already rooting for an item in the big chest, so I'll go the other way. Gotta add some balance to our broadcast here.
Item on blind?
So, if I'm not mistaken, that means this item is not going to be the hammer, and it's not going to lead to it. Because again, key logic assumes that you are really bad with your keys. So if you used your key to open up the big chest room instead of opening up the attic, you would not be able to get to blind right now. So
yeah,
this will not be the hammer.
It will probably most likely, well, it could be the Canis Maria, Hookshot, Powder, or Boots.
Yeah, I think it's the right move from Dragonstrike to go ahead and beat blind here, since there is still an item here. It could be something down the line from hammer that you still need, so.
And we get today bombs. It's Swamp.
So Swamp is the answer.
So what do you think? Hammer, Hookshot, Powder, or Boots?
I want Boots, because then the seed's going to make you go back to Kakariko one more time and mirror to Magic Bat.
You mean Powder? Because Boots won't.
Oh yes,
really
Powder. That's what I meant. Words are hard.
It's okay. The old joke about Twitch math is hard. I'm with you about seeing the powder there. I want the least amount of checks, I want the seed to troll the runners as much as possible. So let's see powder leading into something at Magic Bat.
Yeah, it could also be Hookshot, and then Hammer is hiding somewhere up on East Death Mountain. Lots of possibilities, but we're pretty sure it has to be something because there is literally nothing else left.
Very, very true, unless we've missed a spot, but I can't think of any. So we have Hammer.
Ugh, so now the tough decision, do you continue with Hookshotless Swamp? And the answer is yes for Dragonstrike. Already invested the time to pull the switch at the dam and all of that.
Not just that, but it still has 6 items total, and there's still a chance of getting a lot of them. Now down to 5 because of the hammer being there.
gonna say, we were saying we couldn't think of any other locations, and Dragonstrike couldn't either, because otherwise, why would you be doing this one if you had anything else to do?
And while Dragonstrike is going through there, let's see where Hesjustaboy goes to. Guess they're also going to go check Thieves Town. That or they're going to go clear to Skull Woods.
Yeah, they might be on the same path as Dragonstrike here, just finishing off what they can in this area of the world and then walking down the swamp after that. Leaving Skull Woods for now from the looks of things. Again, no items there, so that can't help them in their hammer search.
And there's the second boomerang. So let's see, if there's nothing else in Swamp, where do you go? You just got the hammer, where would you go?
Ooh, I mean, Death Mountain is calling to me at this point. With the mitts, you can get everything on that right side of the mountain. Probably you're going to find Cane of Samaria up there, just because there are so many item checks left that's definitely the most item-dense region left.
I know for myself, I'd consider looting to 3, checking Hammerpeg Caves, and then going to Death Mountain. It's a quick check. There's a good chance that there might be an item at the Hammerpeg Cave, and if it's powder, you also have the ability to check Magic Bat immediately. It's one of those, it's smarter to check there than flute to Death Mountain, then to just immediately flute to Death Mountain, and the item that you needed being there. And our next item is Red Rupee.
And not quite a walk of shame because the steed made you do it, but the walk of sadness that you have to climb these stairs twice with no hookshot on the left side of Swamp.
Very, very true. So we're down to one last item in Swamp at present, so let's see what we've got. Well, one last location to check. So let's see, what do we have today? We have 300 rupees. Wow, this seed is starting to troll.
So that's another dungeon that we were forced to double dip.
Ooh, Dragonstrike going to ice. And I can see why. It's the second of the 5-6 crystals.
Yeah, that's definitely a reasonable choice. I don't think it's the one I would make, but then again, I went 0-4 in this tournament, so what do I know?
Hey, I managed to win one match, got sick, played the first game, lost my first match, won second, got sick, so I couldn't finish my third match. It is what it is. And Hesjustaboy getting a nice clean blind fight. Although the benefit to Hesjustaboy is, I don't think they have checked the pedestal yet, so that's 2/3 of the way to that giant rupee horde.
Oh, okay. I with a second to think, this decision makes more sense from Dragonstrike. So we've been talking about Mire and whatnot, but Mire is a pendant. So if Dragonstrike goes ahead and finishes Ice Palace, if the hookshot is in here, then odds are that he's going to find Red Cane up on the mountain and will only have to make think one trip he's thinking is trying to maximize his chances of only having to climb Death Mountain one more time.
That is very true. That is very, very true. Although the Canis of Maria could always be in Mire. Nice use of the bomb strats for Dragon Strike, clearing out that Pen Gator room.
Yeah, so Hookshot can only be on Cold Stare logically, but, you know, if the seed logically wants you to go up to Death Mountain and get Canis Samaria and then come back and open up Pyramid Fairy and then get the Hookshot and then blah, 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 Dragonstrike is just hoping to sort of short-circuit that with just one more trip into Ice Palace here.
Oh, I think, couldn't it also be in the room that's by the big key?
Because of the key logic, I think the right side is hookshot locked at this point. So the game's assuming again that if you used your keys badly, you would have to hookshot across that room with all the pits in it to even get to the right side. So,
yep, it looks like Hesjustaboy is opting to skip Swamp for now. Looks like they'll be going to Ice Palace as well. Just a key.
all right, so that means that Cold Stare was logically some information, I guess.
Now here's the thing. You just beat Cold Stare. Do you go to the mountain now and hope that your item is not on the right side of, Ice Palace?
I mean, I would be surprised if he doesn't do Pyramid Fairy right now. I don't feel like you make the Ice Palace play if you're not planning on immediately following it up with the Pyramid Fairy. Or, again, if there's an item left on Helmasaur, which I'm not 100% sure that there is, but I think there is.
I believe there is. They found both the map and the compass already.
Yeah, then that's also sort of an outside shot at being your hook shot. So again, Dragonstrike is just finishing off all of his sunk costs, essentially. Like this walk back to Pod and finishing off Pod and Eastern are going to have to get done sometime. They're never getting done any faster, and they might be the hook shot or the cane, right? So finish them off, doesn't cost you any time, and might save you some checks later.
Not just that, but also afterwards they could loot, and set up Pyramid Fairy a lot easier. So will Hesjustaboy check the right side of Ice Palace? Just may give us some new information. Let's hope the item is on the right side of Ice Palace. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, logically speaking, it would have to be some pretty twisted plans from the seed in order for anything useful to be on the right side. It would have to be some sort of madness, like go somewhere else and get Samaria. No, go somewhere else and get Hookshot, and then come back and get Samaria in ice is what the seed would have to be expecting you to do. But Hesjustaboy is going to show us these checks.
It could always be boots or powder, which could be useful. Let's see, first item is, we have 50 rupees. So nothing real major there.
Yep, that's about what we expected, but Hesjustaboy will rest a little bit easier knowing that that's 100% cleared now.
That is true. That is true. So it makes you wonder, after Hesjustaboy is done here, where they'll go next. Because I'm pretty sure Dragon Strike will be entering Eastern after this. And nice Humsaur fight from Dragon Strike. All to be rewarded with some Kool-Aid.
Alright, so, but 4th crystal for Dragon Strike. And again, you don't really expect to find Hookshot on Helmasaur, but 1 time out of 100, it's a genius play, and 99 times out of 100, it's what you had to do anyway.
Well, considering that the game made you go to Swamp Palace without the Hookshot for the hammer there, the game could troll.
Rando has been known to do that from time to time. It's very true.
And Hesjustaboy got their Palace Crystal. So let's see where they go next. Although they are sort of incentivized to not go to Pod, having already cleared out Eastern.
Interesting that we get essentially the same play out of He's Just a Boy, so we'll go ahead and finish off Pod, try and finish off as much as possible down the mountain before climbing.
So let's see where Dragon Strike goes after this. Death Mountain, you think, or 5-6 Pyramid Fairy?
So again, we know Pyramid Fairy cannot have Cane of Samaria since Cold Stare was logically Samaria locked. Could still theoretically be the Hookshot.
Boots or Powder as well.
Yeah, there is a decent chance that boots are not logically needed to finish the seed, and so could sort of be anywhere, and of course are always a good find. But we'll see if Dragon Strike heads toward the item density right now or not.
Well, the only way that they could logically be needed at present is if Bob's Tort, if the big key of Ganon's Tower is on Bob's Torts. Looks like Dragon Strike is opting to go to Death Mountain. We have the entire east side of Death Mountain, minus 3 remaining chests in Hookshot Cave in the Dark World, and even Spike Cave.
So thinking about Hookshot and Pyramid Fairy, I feel like Hookshot could be in Pyramid Fairy if Cane of Samaria were somewhere accessible. Oh, but Ice Palace Key Logic. Bane of my existence as a commentator.
It is what it is on that one. So let's see. What do you think the next item for progression is going to be, and where do you think it'll be? I know I'm reading for Pyramid Fairy, having something insanely good today.
So yeah, we've seen basically nothing on Death Mountain other than the walk up to Tower of Hera. So Dragonstrike's going to go ahead and open up the Turtle Rock portal now, and then do some mirroring around, and probably start with Paradox Cave, since it is the most items, most bang for your buck.
Very true, and Hesjustaboy just finished off his Hama Sword fight. Opting to mirror, so I'm guessing that they will also head up to Death Mountain. And in Super Bunny Cave, we have a piece of heart and some bombs. I think Hesjustaboy is going to go clear and finish Skull Woods. And possibly find out whether or not find out what the item at the pedestal is, which, as we know, is a rupee hoard. So here in Spiral Cave, we have $20.
And yeah, it looks like Dragonstrike is planning for the worst. So he's going to climb back up the Paradox Cave here to get back to the portal and head over to Spike Cave if necessary.
I'm telling you, with the way this seed has been, it's probably going to be a Pyramid Fairy. So let's see what these 5 checks are. We have... There's the Canis of Maria. Bombs. Powder. Mirror Shield. And a heart.
Okay, so it looks like Dragonstrike is going to continue on the mountain here. I would guess we're going to see a Turtle Rock full clear, because, again, just from the sheer numbers, that is the most likely place for the hookshot to be, and we can full clear Turtle Rock at this point.
That is true. So the last item spots, or what they are hoping to see, is the hookshot.
Yeah, and what have we got left outside of Turtle Rock? We've got Spike Cave, Hammer Pegs, and now Magic Bat with that powder.
And King's Tomb. I think that's basically it.
Yeah, King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks if we ever find those boots. Yes, and Pyramid Fairy.
Yes, let's see where Hesjustaboy goes. Opting for Death Mountain again.
And Dragonstrike pulling off the hardest strat in the game, which is remembering that you don't have the hookshot in this room.
I mean, it's not that hard to remember, it's just more annoying than anything else.
I was going to say, if it's not that hard to remember, why can I never remember it?
I know I remember it because I do Mirror Shield and, well, there's the boots. He can now go fast. But the hookshot is still outstanding. So, hoping the hookshot's here or somewhere else.
I think at this point, all the interesting logic for this seed is done, so I'm just ready to see our runners hit go mode fast and show off their execution skills.
Oh yeah, that's right. They also have Mimic Cave. Talking is hard sometimes.
Yeah, Mimic Cave, basically the same thing as Turtle Rock in my mind. Of course, not exactly, but close enough.
Very, very true. Although at present, both runners are looking at a Silverless Master Sword Ganon.
Yeah, that's a good point. Those swords have definitely been fairly elusive so far.
It looks like Hesjustaboy is just about to enter Paradox Cave and get their boots and powder. Up, there's Hookshot. There's Go Mode. So, ladies and gentlemen, at a 123.56, Dragonstrike has entered Go Mode.
Absolutely. And Hesjustaboy is not too far behind. Assuming they head right into Turtle Rock, they will just be a couple minutes behind Dragonstrike, having cleaned up the rest of their crystal dungeons as well.
Very, very true. I'm pretty sure Hesjustaboy will do that as well. Although they will get to save a tiny bit of time as to not having to full clear Swamp. Or choosing not to.
Yeah, Dragonstrike having to take the long way around there, because when you have to open up the door to the vanilla big key chest, then you're pretty tight on keys through Turtle Rock, so does have to check all of these chests all the way through. And it looks like we'll be going to Laser Bridge as well.
Yep. And they won't need to take the safety door, the turtle's butthole, whatever you want to call it.
And yeah, both of our runners have followed pretty much the same path through this seed with some minor variations. Hesjustaboy did pick up a little jumping out of Swamp Palace as soon as he found that hammer. Picked up some small time saves here and there where Dragonstrike full cleared everything that was not hookshot locked.
I'm opting to not check the last chest in the in Laser Bridge. So let's hope that it's nothing important there. Although most likely it's not, except for maybe an extra sword or silvers.
And opting for the hammer fight here, much better than Master Sword. And yeah, good choice also from Dragonstrike. With half magic, you can just kind of spam out those fire rod shots to finish off the ice head. And not have to mess with all that menuing.
Very, very true. Very, very true. And let's hope that Hesjustaboy does not decide to nope out of Turtle Rock after finding their boots. And Queen Trinex fight or Dragonstrike, all to be rewarded with the burrito. So there is something in the Laser Bridge.
I'm amused that this is the first time we will, I think this is the first time that we'll see this swamp Dark World portal used.
Yep, this will be the first time in this seed. Oh, the irony. As so much time could have been saved if they had checked swamp earlier.
Of course, if you make the habit of thinking, hey, I bet Hammer is in Swamp Palace, then you're going to lose a lot more races than you win.
I know if I've got hook shot and, you know, I'm here, I might consider it, depending on what my options are.
Yeah, it's not the craziest if you've sort of cleared out West Dark World and don't have many other better options to sort of do it while you're in the Purple Chest, Bombos Tablet kind of area, but it is quite the time sink.
And Hesjustaboy just got their hook shot and is now in go mode.
Yep, about 6 minutes behind from the looks of things, compared to when Dragonstrike got theirs.
Yep. And once... Well, do you think Dragonstrike's going to check any of the free chests along the way for a possible sword?
The waterfall chest is definitely worth it. Flooded room, kind of a toss-up. I'm guessing Dragonstrike doesn't mind Master Sword Silverless too much, but...
There's a huge difference between that and 52 hits on Ganon is no slouch. And is nothing to scoff at. Bugnet and the compass from the flooded room. Let's see what the waterfall chest is. Another piece of heart. That's always nice.
So between our two runners, we have seen most of this seed. This feels like there almost has to be a sword in Ganon's Tower, and I bet Dragonstrike feels that same way at this point. Whether the big key routing will get us there or not, still up in the air.
Very, very true. I mean, there could be a sword in Laser Bridge, Mimic Cave, Pyramid Ferry. There's a few locations that are left, but... So let's see, will there be an item on Argus? I don't remember if they've got the map yet or not.
We will probably see if Dragonstrike menu's here. Yeah, no map, so nothing left in Swamp.
Okay. Hesjustaboy opting for that one. Ooh, and Sankheart on Laser Bridge.
That's a pretty good spot for Sankheart.
And if 1 hour 31 minutes and 52 seconds, Dragonstrike has collected all the crystals and will be headed towards Ganon's Tower. Chat, I guess start getting your guesses in chat. If you're new to the Link to the Past randomizer, we have a little guessing game. There's 22 locations in Ganon's Tower, one of which contains the big key. Or could contain the big key. So, have at it, chat. Make your guesses in chat.
And we will count those checks in Ganon's Tower based on the first runner to enter, which will be Dragonstrike, of course, barring something incredibly disastrous happening.
Oh, what number are you choosing today? Full?
I put 19 in chat just because no one seemed to have that one yet, so...
I'm choosing my typical 12. Just trolly enough that, you know, it feels like you had to work for it, but just fast enough to where you feel like, it's not that bad. And Hesjustaboy is fluting to Swamp now. So let's see, right side, left side, what do we choose today? Dragon? On Bob's torch, chest 1. Check 1 is a key.
So, first 5 checks are nothing much. You have 4 small keys already, so Dragonstrike is using the DM strats. It's going to check out 6 more checks on the right side.
Check 5, check 6, nothing and nothing. Watch it be in tile room.
Yeah, I believe those were 6 and 7 with the 1 on the torch as well.
Yes, that was.
Oh, that's another aspect of time that we had not thought about in Swamp Palace. Hesjustaboy had to open up that room and pull that switch since he had not been any further into Swamp than that first chest. So a little bit of time that Dragonstrike had already invested.
Chest 8, blue rupee, chest 9, the map, 10 red mail, 11 arrows. Still no extra sword, so having to do things with just the extra sword so far.
It's a variant of DM strats that you don't see very often, going into full right side.
I know some people, you know, say if you're going to do that, you should just do full right side anyway.
I'm getting an education from chat here. Apparently this is full-on proper DM strats, so that's good to know.
And here's Bob's chest, chest 12. My guess, we have 20 bucks.
I see the Dark Magician strats purists in the audience are very happy right now.
Mind you, if it is in Tile Room, Hesjustaboy could save a lot of time by just checking Tile Room. But who checks Tile Room at the very start?
Somebody who feels really behind, so we'll see how Hesjustaboy reacts
There's
when he
temper,
gets in again
there's
his tower.
bombs, and there's a key. So Dragonstrike's probably happy that he just got a sword.
So that was 13, 14, and 15.
Compass room you've got today, 10 arrows. mind you, remember all, this is just game run. And if you're enjoying this race, don't forget to give our runners Hesjustaboy and Dragonstrike1988 a follow. I'm pretty sure someone can drop a link in chat to their Twitch channels.
Yes, absolutely. They've been putting on a great show as always. Check number 17 was just 3 bombs, which Dragonstrike actively does not want. Just leaving some on the ground to which can help with menuing later.
And here's the rando room.
Check 18 is 100 rupees. 19, a small heart piece. 20 arrows. And 21.
In the rando room.
So Dragonstrike is now starting the climb up Ganon's Tower. And this is also a good time to thank our hosts for this particular race. This is the Go Mode Podcast Twitch channel. And they are a podcast that talks about all things linked to the past randomizer, so be sure to check them out if you haven't. And, of course, thank you to Math Girl, our restreamer for today, and Elbot02, our tracker. They've been doing a lot of work in the background to make sure this broadcast happened, and so we could all watch this race and enjoy it together today. So thanks very much to them. iBot. I never remember if it's iBot or Elbot. I'm sorry.
And here's Ganon Ball Z. Yes, this room does have a nickname. So Dragonstrike making their way to Gauntlet, while Hesjustaboy is making their way into GT. Now remember, Hesjustaboy is still on Tempered Sword. Sorry, Master Sword.
Yeah, so full left here would get him Big Key faster, but would leave him on Master Sword.
Which means that here's hoping that there is another sword in the upper part of Ganon's Tower, else Hesjustaboy is gonna have to do Master Sword Silverless. And nice Lemroll refight by Dragonstrike. Nope.
Yeah, not too surprised to see the gauntlet happening fast here.
And looks like Hesjustaboy is pulling Dark Magician strats as well. But will we see the tile room? But by the way, did anybody actually get the number of 21?
Looks like 20 was our closest guess to the actual location of the Big Key.
And looks like we will see what's in tile room.
Ooh, Dragonstrike is trying to switch the lamp to light that last torch there. Unfortunately, just falling down the pit, but we'll pick up the full magic refill and head back up.
Very, very true. Wasting the bombs to get to the powder. Opting to not check any other chests. They feel comfortable with Tempered Sword, Silverless, as any runner of NMG and with a lot of runners in Randomizer are. Will we see the last chest check? Just a piece of heart.
Yeah, I mean, you expect runners at this point in the tournament to also be comfortable with Master Sword Silverless. It's just a question of how long it takes, no matter how good you are at it. But Dragonstrike not thinking that the potential time save is worth the time sink of opening those chests, and instead just speeds up to Aghanim.
And here we are, Aga 2. It's 1 hit, 2 hits, 3, 4. Everybody's favorite Geometry Wars boss. 5, and there's the 6th.
Yeah, that was a nice double at the end there to finish off Aga 2. And just the big pig standing between Dragonstrike and victory.
And to pull a Zelda 1 reference here, ladies and gentlemen, here's Ganon! Beautiful dash strats on Ganon. That is insanely hard to do.
Couple run-ins with fire bats, but that red mail coming in pretty handy.
Especially since you don't have to worry about Ganon hugs. As without red mail, I think it's what? 6 hearts with blue, 4 with red, and a whopping 8 hearts for a Ganon hug with just green mail. And it's saying left in the dark world. That's... It's not Mimic Cave. That would most likely be... Hookshot Cave is where it had to be. Or Spike Cave.
Or Hammer Pegs, maybe?
Oh, that too. Almost forgot.
Or, yeah, there was still that unchecked Pyramid Fairy.
True.
Alright, but Dragonstrike is into the final phase of the fight. Got that torch glitch, which between that and Half Magic, we'll have no worries about keeping the lights on.
Yep. And not having to pay for the lights on either with over 1,000 rupees. And with 1 to 2 last hits, Dragonstrike will finish. Just as Hesjustaboy gets their GT Big Key. So, at 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 21 seconds, Dragonstrike1988 has finished.
And looked like Hesjustaboy paused there for just a second to congratulate his opponent and is going to go ahead and finish Ganon's tower. And we will see if we can get Dragonstrike in chat here to talk about that a little bit. But yeah, absolutely. Give both of these racers a follow. They put on a great show for us today and are putting out some great rando content, so they are definitely a good follow to check out. Also, follow my co-commentator, Magius, and our restreamer and tracker, MathGirl718, and iBot.
And looks like we have Dragonstrike joining us here in the booth. GG, Dragon.
GG's, Ohio.
So, yeah, how did you feel about that seed?
I mean, you never feel really ahead if you find a hammer in Swamp, but you also don't feel behind, because That's just blah.
It's one of the ultimate gambles.
Yep.
Yeah, not surprising that both you and your opponent last locationed that one.
I mean, that is always your hope if you find it in your last location. Okay, maybe he last located that as well, because the chances are pretty high that you last located that.
Yeah, so talk us through your thought process that you, after you found that hammer, you went ahead and cleared out the other 3 crystal dungeons that you had sort of left almost full, Ice Palace and then Pod and Eastern. So what was your thinking there?
I really was just hoping to find all the other items on the way, like Samaria or something had to be on Death Mountain. Like so many checks up there. So
Yeah,
I
by
just
that
wanted to get
time-
all the crystals and then rush Death Mountain.
Very, very true. And he's just a boy checking the chest. You didn't check only a green rupee and some blueberries. But overall, very fine execution of the seed from you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have not seen the silvers anywhere, but between you and your opponent, you cleared out pretty much everything but, I guess, Misery Mire and a couple of overworld checks, so...
I mean, Ganon said Dark World, so I guess Hammer Packs or maybe Hookshot Cave? Not sure if
Yep.
he skipped that or not.
Carrot Pigs, Bookshot Cave, and Fat Fairy, I believe, were the last locations that you all hadn't checked. At least
Well.
for the Dark World.
But yeah, it was actually a fairly generous seed other than that hammer, with the mirror and the bow coming pretty early in Dark World. You pretty much just had to stick to the usual locations, except for that Swamp Palace dip, of course.
Yep. Thankfully, both items in Sky Woods in the front, but 3 items in the front of Thiefstown. Thank you, game. So you had to go back in there because you think maybe the hammer is back in the back of Thiefstown, but well, nope.
Yeah, it's always hard to abandon an item in Thieves Town because you're always worried whether or not it's actually either in the big chest or on the boss, and it could be progression.
Yep.
And while we've got a minute, Hesjustaboy has just answered Ganon at a 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 36 seconds. So they'll be finishing up momentarily. I do have to say, Dragon, you did a great job with the dash scratch on Ganon.
Thank you, but I messed up the second phase a little bit, so
Yeah, it's a give or take on that one. You at least got to show off the dash stretch, which are something that, are very hard to do.
Yeah, did you think about stopping in Hookshot Cave on the way to GT, or were you pretty sure that you were going to find a sword on the way anyway?
I felt so far behind, I was just hoping for a sword on the way in GT.
I mean, Hammer was in the first chest of Swamp, so it's hard on that one, I guess.
Yep, but you never know.
Yeah, it's really hard to know where you are in the race at that point, since your opponent could have dipped it early and gained a lot of time on you that way, so it's definitely fair logic. Ooh,
Oh.
Unlucky from Hesjustaboy taking a fall there on that Ganon fight.
And in Phase 4,
little low on health, but does not stop for that fairy. I think probably still has some potions in reserve.
Yeah, I don't think
Found a
any of you
blue and a red
actually
at some
used a
point.
potion. I don't think any of you used a potion at all.
Yeah, so he's just a boy going ahead and using that red potion to top back up before jumping back into the Ganon fight.
And what did you think of having 21 of 22 checks in GT?
Well, at least I got the sword. But yeah.
I know Hesjustaboy did end up checking Tile Room, but I forget what was there.
I guess it was nothing.
Most likely.
I think a red rupee in Tile Room, so...
Thanks, game.
When the game trolls, the game trolls. So what are you hoping to actually not have to deal with for the second match?
No hammer or hookshot in swamp, please. Thank you. And early boots would be nice.
I think every runner wants early boots.
I sure hope so.
I know at one point when you guys were checking out Ice Palace, we were actually discussing the new glitch found 2 days back. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, it's not allowed yet, is it?
It's not allowed yet, and they're still discussing it over on NMG as well. Although there has been at least one world record so far using it for NMG, though it's unofficial at present.
I mean, now you have new chance to route Ice Palace, so that's a thing, if it gets allowed, which it probably will, I would say.
Most likely. I figured since, figured I'd ask on that one, while we're waiting for your opponent to finish up. And Hesjustaboy just finished Ganon, so just waiting for the fanfare.
And of course, get your GGs in chat to Hesjustaboy, who has joined us, by the way. Welcome.
GG's to you, Hesjustaboy.
And I think we can get HJB up into chat here as well with us to talk through this seed and what is next for this matchup.
It's always good to hear what our runners are planning for the second game.
Hey guys, GG.
GG to you.
What a
GG.
gross seed.
So of course, yeah, we got to ask about that hammer in swamp, everyone's favorite.
Yeah. I had like a devil and an angel on my shoulder situation when I was there, and I was like, I should just go in. I'm walking right past it. And then I was like, no, I'm going to find it somewhere else. Let's just not waste any time here. Oops. Because, like, I mean, I could have easily dipped in it. When I was walking the purple chest past. I'm sure Dragonstrike was in the same situation.
Yep.
Did you? I'm assuming you went into Ice Palace as well without the hammer.
Yep, I did everything without the hammer except for Landmo.
Yeah, rough seed. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what to expect from this tournament so far. Almost every seed has been brutal.
At least it wasn't a pedestal seed.
Yeah, I mean, part of me thought, I was like, I mean, hookshot can still be there.
Yeah, it's definitely true. Boots could have been your access to that Meyer pendant, so why not?
But I mean, thankfully, it was nice at the end. I saw people in chat asking about Hookshot Cave, and honestly, I just kind of didn't even think about it at that point. I was like, I have to be so far behind. And then I get the 4 small keys, and I was like, well, I mean, maybe it's tile room, and maybe I have a chance to make up a little bit of time. I don't know.
So,
so-
I do have to
oh, yeah.
ask. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say if we had any thoughts about the second race in the series, if you guys have what changes are going to be made to the settings.
Either standard or assured swords. I haven't decided yet.
Going with the classics. Good choice.
Yeah, I like early weapons. Makes me feel a little more comfortable.
So I guess that'll be it for this, current race. So, cool. You want to finish this off and provide everything else?
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks again to both of our runners for putting on a great show. Dragonstrike and He's Just a Boy. Thanks again to our tracker as well, who is also helping us out, putting those links for following our runners and the entire streaming crew in the chat. Check out the Go Mode Podcast. Come join us on the Go Mode Podcast Discord. Lots of fun, lots of rando talk, lots of trash talk, all the things you want out of a video gaming Discord. I am Cool Papa Bell 22. Thanks again to my co-commentator Magius, and thank you everybody out there in chat for watching. Have a great night, everybody.